Welcome to English Grammar 1, Unit 24. Will be doing and will have done. Will be doing means future continuous and will have done means future perfect. Will represents future and be plus verb plus ing represent continuous, so it becomes future continuous. And will have done future perfect. Will represents future and have plus past participle represent perfect, so it becomes future perfect. We use a future continuous when we speak about a future action that will be continuous at a certain point of time. When at a certain point of time in the future we will be in the middle of doing a certain action. We will be in the middle of doing a certain action. If we speak of a present continuous, we say now at this moment we are in the middle of doing action. So we say we are studying English grammar now. In the future, suppose next week, if we take the lecture at the same time, we can say next week we will be studying English grammar at this time next week. We will be studying English grammar at this time next week. We will be in the middle of doing the action next week. On the other hand, after we finish the lecture, suppose now at this moment we have finished the lecture, we say I have finished the lecture. So next week at this time we will have finished the lecture. We say that we will have finished the lecture by this time next week because we will be at the end of the action. We express the perfect, the present perfect, when we are at the end of the action now. Suppose we are at the end of the action in the future, so we use future perfect. We use will plus have plus past participle. And mind one thing here, with will we use have, we don't use has, because we need the base form, so it becomes will have done, not will has done. Will have done. We must use have because have is the base form even if the subject is singular. We have here in A certain examples. Study this example situation. Here we have 3 pictures. Now people standing in a queue before the cinema to get into the cinema. And in the second picture we have half an hour from now the people will be watching the film. After 3 hours from now the film is finished, the people will have finished the film, the film will have finished and the people will have gone home and the audience will have gone home. In the first picture, these people are standing in a queue to get into the cinema. These people are standing in a queue to get into the cinema means now, at this moment. Half an hour from now, the audience will be sitting in the cinema. The cinema will be full and they will be watching the film. They will be in the middle of doing the action. Half an hour from now means after half an hour. After half an hour means the future. And after half an hour, they will be watching half an hour back and they will be in a continuous statement of watching the film. So the action will be continuous and in the future it becomes future continuous. They will be in the middle of watching the film. So we say they will be watching the film. We use future continuous. Will plus be plus verb plus ing. We know that the present continuous is represented by am is are plus verb plus ing. When we use will before am is are, then am is are goes back to its base form, which is be. So it becomes will be plus verb plus ing. That's why the form becomes like this. Everyone will be watching the film half an hour from now. After 3 hours from now, it will be a future and the film is finished. The film is finished. The cinema will be empty and the cinema will be empty. We can say that is the end of the film. We can say the film will have finished after 3 hours. The film will have finished. Suppose we have been watching a film and now we are at the end of the film. We say the film has finished. The film has finished. At this time, we say the film has finished. We are at the end of the film. But if the end of the film is in the future, so we use will, and has goes back to its base form, which is have. So we say the film will have finished. You say the film will have finished. Everybody will have gone home. If you look at the cinema, you will find it empty. So we say everybody will have gone home. Suppose now is the end of the film and the film is finished, and we say now at this moment we say everybody has gone home. Everybody has gone home. But if this point of time is in the future and it is at the end and everybody has gone home, we say it will be future plus has changed into have into the base form. It will be will plus have plus the past participle. So it becomes like this: everybody will have gone home. B. I will be doing something in the future. Future means future continuous. I will be in the middle of doing it in the future. We know that present continuous is to express an action while we are in the middle of the action now. But suppose this point of time in the middle of the action is in the future. So we add will before the present continuous, and am is are changed into the base form be. So it will be will plus be plus verb plus ing. So when we are in the middle of doing an action or a certain action in the future, we use will to indicate the future, and we use verb to be, am is are plus verb plus ing, and am is are after will is changed into the their base form, which is be. So it becomes, or they become be. So the form will be like this: will plus be plus verb plus ing. So we say I'll be doing something, future in the action. I will be in the middle of doing it. For example, this time next week. This time means a point of time, and this time indicates that we are in the middle of the action. So we say, and next week indicates the future. We are in the middle of the action. This time indicates the middle of the action, means continuous, and next week indicates future. So means we are in the continuous state in the future. So we use future continuous. So we say this time next week I'll be on holiday, I'll be lying on the beach, or I'll be swimming in the sea. But here, because I will be is understood, so we drop it. We use ellipsis here. So it becomes I'll be lying on the beach or swimming in the sea. And here it means I'll be lying on the beach or I'll be swimming in the sea. I'll be in the middle of doing the action, in the middle of lying or in the middle of swimming in the future. So it becomes I'll be lying on the beach or swimming in the sea. You have no chance of getting the job. One person is telling the other, you have no chance of getting the job. So the attempts he is doing are considered the attempts he is going to do in the future are considered as wasting time. So the person says to the other person, you will be wasting your time if you apply for it. If you apply in the future for the job, because you have no chance, you will be in the middle of wasting your time. You will be in a state where you continue wasting your time. So the person uses here will plus be plus verb plus ing. So the form becomes like this. You will be wasting your time if you apply for it. Compare will be doing and will do. Here is a comparison between will plus be plus verb plus ing means future continuous, and will plus base form future simple. We use will plus base form. We know we have already taken that will is used for future in general, will plus the base form, a future in general or complete action in the future. But when we use will plus be plus verb plus ing means the action is not complete. We are in the middle. We will be in the middle of doing the action in the future. Don't phone between 7 and 8. Between 7 and 8. What will we be doing that time? Between 7 and 8, we will be in a continuous statement of doing a certain action. A continuous state of doing a certain action. So the person says, don't phone between 7 and 8. At that time, we will be having dinner. We will be in the middle of having dinner. So we say, we will be having dinner. We will be in the middle of doing action. We will be in the middle of having dinner. So we use future continuous. So the person says, we will be having dinner. The other example, let's wait for Liz to arrive and then we will have dinner. Let's wait for Liz to arrive and the decision will be taken when she arrives, we will have dinner. We don't speak here about a point of time, we speak about an action in the future in general. So we say we will have dinner. But when we say we will be having dinner, we will be in the middle of the action at a certain point of time in a continuous state of doing the action. So here the action is general. We don't have a point of time in the middle of the action. That's why we use will plus the base form. Compare will be plus verb plus ing with other continuous forms. Here is a comparison between other continuous forms. At 10 o'clock yesterday. Yesterday indicates past and 10 o'clock indicates continuous, so the action here must be past continuous. So we say Sally was in her office yesterday. Here it was in her office. Now we are going to speak about the action she was doing while she was in her office yesterday at 10 o'clock. She was working. She was in the middle of working. She was in the middle of working. So at 10 o'clock indicates continuous and yesterday indicates past. So we have past continuous verb here. So we say she was working. We use past continuous. It's 10 o'clock now, and here 10 o'clock and now indicates we are in the middle of the action now. So we have here a present continuous. So we say she is in her office now. And what is she doing? She is working. She is working now. It is a present continuous. Now she is in the middle of doing the action. So we use present continuous. At 10 o'clock tomorrow. Tomorrow indicates future and 10 o'clock indicates continuous. Indicates that she was in the she will be in the middle of doing the action. So tomorrow indicates future and 10 o'clock indicates continuous, so it becomes future continuous. So we says she will be in her office. To indicate future we use here will and plus the base form of is be. So it becomes she will be in her office. Now we are going to speak about the action she is doing in the future. So we use a future continuous. So we say she will be working. She will be in the middle of working at 10 o'clock. She must have started before 10 and continued after 10 in the future. So we say she will be working. She will be in the middle of doing the action in the future. So 10 o'clock indicates continuous and tomorrow indicates the future. So the verb becomes future continuous. So the form becomes like this. She will be working. Will plus be plus verb plus I plus ing plus ing. C. We also use will, be plus verb plus ing in a different way to talk about complete actions in the future, or not to talk about complete actions in the future, to talk about planned action in the future, to talk about planned actions in the future. In other words, actions which are decided before. The decision has been taken for doing these actions in the past. So the decision has been taken before that time, and this may indicate that it is similar to am, is, are, going to plus the base form. A planned action for the future. For example, here, the government will be making a statement about the crisis later today. Here we understand that there is a plan that the government will be making a statement about the crisis later today. In other words, we can say the government is going to make a statement about the crisis today. Will you be going away this summer? One person is saying, will you be going away this summer? To the other person, this is a question. And here we say, the person says, will you be going away this summer? He speaks about plans for the future. So we can say, are you going away this summer? The same. Later in the program, I'll be talking to the Minister of Education. If you think of this statement, later in the program, I'll be talking to the Minister of Education, means she has planned to talk to the Minister of Education in her program. It is programmed, it is planned before, and she can say, I am going to talk to the Minister of Education, or I'll be talking to the Minister of Education here. She will be in the middle of the action later in the program, but she doesn't mean to say that she will be in the middle of the action. She means to say that she is going to talk to the Minister of Education. She just wanted to say that she will be doing the action in the future. Our best player is injured and won't be playing in the game on Saturday. He is injured, so he plans not to go to play on Saturday. So we say he won't be playing in the game on Saturday. Here we use this action to just to say that this is planned action before. We mean to say he is not going to play in the game on the Saturday. We don't mean to say that at a certain point of time in the future he will not be playing in the game. No, we just wanted to say that he is not going to play in the game in the future because he is already injured and he planned not to go to play. And here in this case, will be plus the verb plus will be plus verb plus ing is similar to be plus going to plus the base form, or similar to am is are going to plus the base form. D. Let's come to D. We use will, have, done. Will, have plus past participle. Here we call it future perfect. Will indicates the future and have plus past participle indicate perfect. So it becomes future perfect. And we understand that the present perfect is represented by have or has plus past participle when we express the action when we are at the end of the action. When we are at the end of the action and look back to the beginning of the action, where it started until the moment we are speaking about it. At the end of the action, we use present perfect. But if this point of action or if this point of time at the end of the action is in the future, so it becomes a future perfect, and the form becomes like this: will plus have and has are changed into the base form have. So we use have only after will, because have is the base form of has and have, so it becomes will plus have plus past participle for the future, to say that something will already be completed before a time in the future. For example, Sally always leaves for work at 8:30 in the morning. This is a habit. She won't be at home at 9. At 9, she won't be at home. Means she will have gone to work. So at 9 o'clock we say she will have gone to work because she has gone to work, and she has gone to work in the future. It will be she will have gone to work. Will plus has is changed into have. So it becomes she will have gone to work. She will have already gone to work. We are late. We are going to the cinema and we say, okay, we are late. The film will have already started. The film will have already started. Before we reach, the film will start. The film will start before we reach, and we say the film will have already started. The action will have already happened by the time we get to the cinema. When we get to the cinema, the film will have already started. Compare will have done with other perfect forms. To make it easy, we can make a comparison between other perfect forms and future perfect tense. Ted and Amy have been married for 24 years. Imagine if you put a point on a sketch and make a line and put start, the beginning of marriage, 24, and after 24 years means now. 24 years means now. We say, okay, now they have been married for 20 years. We use here present perfect and we use it in the passive form. So we say they have been married for 24 years because now 24 years passed while they are married. So we say now at this moment we measure it until now. We don't know what was going to happen after that. So we say they have been married for 24 years. Next year will be 25 years. So at the end of next years we say they will have been married for 25 years. They will have been married for 25 years. They will have been married for 25 years. And here 25 years, the next it will finish next year. So next year is in the future, and the end of the time we speak of the action, so it is perfect. So we use future perfect. So we say they will have been married for 25 years. When their son was born, they had been married for 3 years. Okay. After 3 years from the beginning, it is a past point, means before 21 years, means before 21 years from now. You put a point after 3 years from the beginning, and you look at the point that is an end point of the action when their son was born, and that is an end point of the action that extended for 3 years from first year to the third year, and at the end of the third year it is a point, an action extended from a past point to another past point in the past, and we are at the end of that past point. So we use past perfect in that case. So we say when their son was born, they had been married for 3 years. They had been married for 3 years. We use past perfect here in this case. So we say present perfect when we are at the end of the action. Now we use past perfect when we are at the end of the action in the past, and the action is extended from a past point to another past point. But in the present perfect, the action extended from a past point until now or around now, so we use present perfect. When the action is extended from a past point or now to a point of time in the future, and we are at the end of the point, we are at the end of the action at a point in the future. In this case we use future perfect. In this case we use future perfect. So we say will plus have plus past participle to express future perfect. That's all. Thank you.